Greetings, people of Earth. Welcome back. My name is Jax. And before you run away or go into the comments, I know this video title might be a bit controversial. Obviously, the video title is Can You Choose to Be Gay? And some people have some really strong opinions about this, especially in the religious conservative sort of area. But I'm not really talking about that. So I'm going to try and dispel you quickly so it's not technically clickbait or anything like that. The point of this, like, can you choose to be gay? Yes and no. I don't believe that you can choose your orientation, what you're attracted to. I think there are a whole bunch of factors that play a role in it. I don't think it's just genetic. I think there is some stuff in your upbringing. I think there is some cultural stuff. I think it's a really complicated issue. I didn't know I was gay until I was like 19 or 20 years old. And so it's kind of hard for me to talk about it because a lot of the gay people that I know, their experience is that they always knew that they were gay, like from the time that they were 5 or 6. But I didn't know what like attraction was until I was like probably 12 or 13. And the idea of being gay, like I didn't know that that existed until I was probably 16 years old. Like I didn't know about that concept. I didn't understand it. Like I grew up in a very conservative, like typical rural country sort of area. And so I wasn't exposed to gay people as a young kid. There were not shows growing up on the television that I watched that had anything like that. You know, it wasn't even a question. It was just like, no, obviously, like a man and a woman get together and they have babies and that's it. And so the idea of homosexuality didn't even exist in my mind at that point. And even the idea of being like physically attracted to the other gender, like I didn't have any of that. Like I wasn't in that thing, you know. I heard people talking about it, but I just kind of assumed that it was like maybe I'm this little robot kid that's not really interested in that kind of stuff. And very much thought I was like asexual. But it also gave me a lot of time to sort of think about it on my own, and develop my own understanding of it. And so I do think like there are obviously big genetic factors, there are big things within you, there's your upbringing, there's a whole bunch of factors that contribute to it. It's a really complex issue, but you cannot choose your orientation. You know, I think it's a big spectrum and you can, you know, I think you can fall in love with almost anybody. I think it's capable. I think everyone is capable of falling in love with everybody. However, you cannot choose to be gay. And one little like side note, I've never understood this argument that conservatives have about like, well, it's a choice. It's like, okay, well, even if it is a choice, people should be allowed to make a choice. You know, I'm not saying it is a choice, but I've never understood that argument that like if it's a choice, then gay people shouldn't have rights because they should just choose the right answer. And it's like, well, who says that's the right answer? Like who are you to say that this is the right answer for somebody in their own specific life with their life experience? So I've never understood that argument, and I've never understood why this whole topic is controversial in the first place. Because if you think about it, if you have like autonomy and if you are the best person in your life to make decisions for your life, nobody should be dictating to you what you do when it comes to not affecting other people and, you know, what you choose to do with other consenting adults. Like, is that really an issue? Like I'm really confused as to why that's even like a factor. But regardless, what I'm actually talking about in this video, sorry it's taken 4 minutes to get here, but you absolutely can choose what parts of being gay that you embrace in your life. And as a gay farmer, I'm really bad at choosing gay. Obviously, like I am gay, I am attracted to dudes, to men, but I don't really subscribe to a lot of gay culture. And I don't have this like pick me idea that like I'm not like other gays. Like I like farming and mechanics and trains. Like I don't have that view, but I have made a conscious choice to, you know, be interested in other things. You know, I'm a huge skier. I love skiing. I love archery. I love working out at the gym. I love gardening. I love plants. I love decorating my home. I like golfing. I have a whole bunch of like interests that have nothing to do with being homosexual. And I don't want to criticize, but I will just point out that many people in the gay community make being gay like their entire career and life's work. I have a few friends who have openly said to me that they would not be friends with me if I was straight. And it kind of hurts. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of a hard thing to like wrap your head around that, just because I am this specific thing that really shouldn't have anything to do with my personality, that they wouldn't associate with me unless I was queer. It's a very strange idea to wrap your head around, and like this video very much deals with like identity and how you see yourself and that sort of thing. And I see myself as like a human being, first and foremost, and a good son, a good brother, a good friend, a farmer, a YouTube person. Being gay is like one of those like small parts of the pie chart of who you are. Like if there's like a big pie chart, like being gay is like this little sliver. It's a great part that I love. I wouldn't want to be straight. I see what my straight best friends have to deal with in the dating world, and I'm just like, thank you, next. But it's like a small part of my life. And I know, especially because YouTube is like one of the places where I get to express that small part of my life, that it seems like it's this huge part of my life. But in reality, like I spend a very small portion of my day dealing with my gay identity and what it means to be gay and interacting in gay spaces and things like that. And so you absolutely get to choose how culturally gay you are. And I want to really stress that it does not matter. If you decide to be 100% gay and embrace that whole thing, and you love Drag Race, you love Pride, you love the gay shows on like Heartstoppers, Young Royals, all those things. If you embrace that and you really love that and you have a passion for it and you have a passion for gay rights and activism and the history of LGBT through like ancient Greece and Stonewall and so many of the historical things that make being queer really amazing, that's awesome. Okay, I'm not here to tell you like you should choose to be more than just gay. Like, no. I'm saying this because it works for me. It's what I like. I just have a passion for these other things. And I think part of it is because I didn't know I belonged in this community until I was like 19. Like I'd figured out who I was. I had really developed my interests, my tastes, my preferences. And then at 19 or 20, it was like, oh, Jax, by the way, you're also homosexual. And that was really great. I love that it worked out like that for me, because I really developed like a passion for multiple things. Like I have a lot of passion for different things, and I really like that. But there's nothing wrong with having a full passion for the LGBT community, for being gay, for being queer, for enjoying, like I said, the history, the nuances, the qualities that involve being homosexual. But like I said at the beginning, it is absolutely a choice, and there is nothing wrong with choosing one way or the other. But I think you have to be pragmatic and you have to be realistic, and you have to realize that there will be people on both sides of this coin who, will look at you differently. I am looked at differently in the gay community. A lot of times when I'm out at a bar or something, like I very much pass as straight, especially if I don't open my mouth. And that can be frustrating because, I would love to get like hit on by dudes now and then, and it'd be cool to like meet somebody in person and, be able to connect on this thing. But because it's such a small part of my life, and I'm not like visibly that queer, like I said, if I open my mouth, I think I sound quite gay, but that's just me. But yeah, just walking around in a club and, if I wear a cowboy hat or if I'm just wearing a baseball cap or whatever, I don't really like fit in. And sometimes, I feel as though I don't fit into gay culture that well because I have this like outsider, black sheep kind of thing. And I've always been a black sheep in my family, and like everything that I've done basically is black sheep. But um, it's one of those things that you have to consciously understand that like, oh, you won't necessarily fit in perfectly. Like you don't have to fit in perfectly, and you never have to fit in, but just understanding that it's going to like impact how you are seen in the world, it can be really helpful. But there is absolutely nothing wrong with choosing to be as queer as possible. There is nothing wrong with choosing to be as straight or just exploring other parts of you. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. But just know that you will be judged. You know, there's the whole idea of like the straight boy who is like kind of pretending to be gay or is being like a fetish for people. Like, oh yeah, straight boy, I want to do that. Um, and so like just being conscious of this and like understanding that, you know, by not making a choice or by making a choice, you're still presenting some way in society and you're still existing in this interesting, unique way. So yeah, I hope this made sense. I do think you can absolutely choose to be culturally gay, and you get to choose and cultivate your own personality and relationships, and it has a big impact on how your life will go. As long as, and I think it doesn't really matter which way you choose, as long as you choose and you work in a positive way and be willing to change, be willing to grow. Don't be prejudiced. Don't be like a mask for mask guy, and that sort of thing. I might have to do a video on that because I can sense that I can just sense the comments about being what's wrong with being mask for mask. Nothing is like inherently wrong with being mask for mask. It's just the attitude that some people who embody that ideal is really not the vibe. Like you're bringing down the whole party. But there's nothing wrong with having a preference. Lord knows, like I have preferences. So yeah, that's today's video. You can't choose to be gay, but you kind of can choose to be gay in a certain specific way. So yeah, hopefully I do not become some like figurehead of the conservative right-wing people who are like, ha, he admitted it, you can choose. I'm like, no, you can't. Like watch the video in its entirety. Yeah, let me know your thoughts. I'm curious on this one. Did you choose to be gay? Did you, like culturally, I know you didn't choose to be gay growing up and all of that, but did you choose at a specific point to really embrace what it means to be queer and to embrace that and look into it? Or have you just sort of cultivated other personalities and like different interests and preferences? I'm curious. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you're having a beautiful day, week, month, year, whatever you're having. I hope it's amazing. And as always, I will talk to you guys tomorrow.